I'm about 5 miles from Cottonwood, walking towards Cottonwood, and here I come to the other side of the Nez Perce reservation. So I would guess that I've been walking for about 30 miles along the road through the Nez Perce reservation, which was originally, the boundaries were set in 1863, and it was that treaty that the non-treaty Nez Perce chiefs did not sign it, and they therefore were called the non-treaty Nez Perce. And then in 1877 at Fort Lupwai, General Howard gave them an ultimatum where they had 30 days to get on the reservation, and then they gathered up the tribes, and then they went to Tolo Lake, which I'm walking to, and I think I'll be there tomorrow. And that's where they all met to decide what to do, what their fate was. On a personal level, I was able to fix the stroller in the town of Craigmont last night with a used metal conduit instead of the wooden dowels, and I'd have to say it works great. So you can see this is your classic Palouse. To me, it reminds me of Palouse. The Palouse, I went to Pullman, Washington State University, and that's about 50 miles that away, and it's same topography with the rolling topography that works very well for wheat. And so there's very much wheat country here on the Camas Prairie, heading into the town of Cottonwood. I'll get there in about an hour and a half, and I think I'll get a motel there tonight as well. So I'm being spoiled, but obviously walking the highway here isn't that fun. Make good time, but not exactly pleasant. But onward hope. I have to say that the Nez Perce National Historic Trail is very well signed. Right up here we have a sign that I believe is going to direct me to Tolo Lake, and that's where I'm hoping to go. Last night stayed in the town of Cottonwood. They have one motel. I was lucky to get a room, and had the best sleep I've had in 2 weeks. A couple times I've had to camp kind of close to this Highway 95, and you just get the truck traffic through the night, air brakes, and it's just loud and hard to sleep. And so I'm going to be turning off of Highway 95 here shortly, going to Tolo Lake, and I'm looking forward to having a bit of a quieter walk. And I'll report next when I get to Tolo Lake. They're asking me to set them free. Set me free, they say. Actually, geez, I hope this one doesn't get out here. Yeah, you better go back there, boy. On the edge of Tolo Lake, named after a Nez Perce squaw, and the settlers couldn't pronounce her name because it was so long, so they just called her Tolo. She was a good friend of the settlers, and the name has stuck. This was this is where the 5 non-treaty tribes met on mid-June of 1877. So 134 years ago, almost to this day. I mean, today's June 17th, and it was on June 14th of 1877 with all the 5 non-treaty tribes gathered here with thousands of horses. Kind of hard to imagine, but the chiefs were kind of they were wondering what to do, and basically they were realized that they couldn't run from the cavalry. There's just too many, and so as regretful as they were to move on to the new boundaries of the reservation, which was drastically smaller, 90% smaller than the original, and they were going to lose all their ancestral homelands. They were accepting of the idea to a degree, and but it was a very volatile situation, and the all it needed was one spark to ignite the whole raw emotions, and that occurred when one of the young Nez Perce wanted to have retribution for the killing of his father, which was 5 years prior, and it just everything was culminating, and emotions were getting heated up, and he went off with his nephew and his cousin to basically to avenge the murder of his father and to kill the white man, that the settler that had killed his father, the Nez Perce's father. Anyways, they didn't find the settler, but the one fellow, and they ended up murdering 4 settlers, and that basically ignited the whole powder keg. And right after that happened, all the Nez Perce that were gathered here disbanded, and then the cavalry quickly heard about it in Fort Lapwai, and they came out with they didn't sleep, just traveled on their horses for 40 hours and got to Cottonwood, which was where I was at yesterday, and they let their horses eat for a little while, and then they went after the Nez Perce. And over here we're going to be coming up to White Bird Battleground, and that's where the first battle took place, where the Nez Perce took advantage of the cavalry being exhausted, and their horses, the cavalry's horses were exhausted, and it was a massacre essentially. 33 cavalry were killed, and I believe only 1 Nez Perce was killed, and that precipitated the flight of the Nez Perce on their zigzag tour route to the Canadian border. So this is a very important location to the Nez Perce flight. You get the impression reading the history books that anything could have happened at this point. Like I say, the chiefs were aware that there was little they could do to fight the U.S. cavalry, and it was just the fact that the younger native Nez Perce were not accepting the situation, and took matters into their own hands, and then the chiefs basically had to follow suit, and the rest is going to be followed along the Nez Perce as I walk towards White Bird Battleground, which is about, I think, 7 miles. I'm guessing, I really don't know, but I think 7 miles that way. All right, onward on the Nez Perce Trail.